We find that we're living in this time where so much filth and so much evil is being spoken about the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We all know the state of our own ibadat. We all know what is our a'mal. We know the state of our salat. We know the state of our fasting. We know the state of our hajj. We know what weak Muslims we are. We sin day in and day out. We disobey the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have nothing that we can present in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that is worth anything. We ourselves know, examine our hearts and see what is there. We know our worth. We know our value in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How much we disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yet there is great hope for every single believer. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Al-mar'u ma'a man ahabba. A person will be with whom he loves on the day of Qiyamah. When the Sahabah radiallahu anhum heard this hadith, they were hearts were bursting with joy. They said, we will be with you, O Rasulullah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, yes, you love me, you will be with me on the day of Qiyamah. Wallahi, we have no solid a'mal to present in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's the honest truth. We ourselves know what goes on in our hearts and minds when we are standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yet, if we work on our love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we work on our love for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we work on our love for the Sahabah radiallahu anhum, inshallah, thumma inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will unite us with them on the day of Qiyamah. And it is not far-fetched to assume that inshallah, when we have this love in our hearts for them, and we propagate this love for the Sahaba of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will allow them to intercede for us, and we will be allowed entry into Jannah on account of their blessings. Let us not fall into the trap of those people who speak ill of the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Imam Ahmad rahimahullah, one of the great muhaddiseen of this ummah, was one person who stood up in the times of fitna. When the aqidah on the Quran was being attacked, he was one person who stood up, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed his name to resound throughout history, that everybody knows that this is the man who stood up and protected the aqidah of Muslims in the entire ummah. He was one man. His name, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed it to be raised in the whole world.